Hey there, pen fans! Brian Goulet here of GouletPens.com, and I have something very, very special to show you today. This is something that's been in the works for many years, and I'm incredibly excited to finally be able to get to present it to you. We have the distinct honor of collaborating with Pilot Pens to offer you the first US retailer exclusive Pilot Vanishing Point. Now, this is to honor Goulet Pen's 15th anniversary this year. We consider our birthday to be November 17th, 2009, which is the first day that we started offering fountain pen products, which basically changed the trajectory of me and Rachel's lives and our whole business. Now, this pen has a pink at the grip end, which then transitions to our Goulet blue in the middle, and then it fades into a light teal at the back end. The colors are all metallic, so they have a nice little shine, little glimmer to them, especially when viewed in direct light, and we're absolutely thrilled with how they've turned out. It looks awesome. We went with a matte black trim and a black nib, which looks really sharp, and it frames up the colors nicely on the body. We wanted the colors themselves to stand out, so the black was a good choice for accomplishing that, not overpowering. Just above the center band is the expected Pilot Japan on the underside of the pen, and then if you flip it over on the top, we have a commemorative 15th anniversary Goulet pens on that top side. And it's all done in black, which looks pretty subtle against that blue. That's what we were going for. And then if you look at the center band itself, you can see the imprinting of the limited edition number, which will be a 3-digit number out of 275 pens, which is the number of pens that we'll have available. I wanted to give you at least a little bit of a background to our Goulet origin story in case you weren't already familiar with it. I began hand-turning wood pens back in 2007, and I tried for 3 years to make that work, but it was never really a viable business on its own, despite me and Rachel's best efforts. It wasn't until we discovered fountain pens and the need for fountain pen education that we really hit something. In 2009 into 2010, we were only selling ink and paper to try to get our little fledgling business off the ground. I stopped making pens and we pivoted to exclusively selling ink and paper for that whole first year. And we thought, hey, this might be it for us. We felt so intimidated by the fountain pen world and what we needed to learn because we were newbies, just like you might be now, or you at least once were at some point, right? Slowly but surely, we started learning more about pens one at a time. And pretty quickly, it was evident that Pilot was a brand that stood out as one of the most revered and established in the fountain pen world. We pursued Pilot for months, asking if we could carry their brand in our little startup selling out of our garage. Understandably, they didn't take us on for a little bit, which I get because we were pretty unknown at the time. But they eventually rolled the dice on us and took us on as a retailer in March of 2011. And the rest has been history for both of our companies. We've had a great working relationship with them since then. And we started tossing around the idea of a retailer exclusive pen no less than 5 years ago. They've done many retailer exclusives in Japan, but it's not often done outside of their domestic market. And it had never been done before in the US. So after many, many conversations, samples, prototypes, and just a lot of patience all around, we are thrilled to be able to commemorate our 15th anniversary of Goulet Pens with the first US retailer exclusive Pilot pen. Now, we have loved and been inspired by the Twilight, which was Pilot's annual limited edition pen from 2015. We wanted something similar, but not too similar, though we did kind of use that as a jumping off point. We have some company colors that we use around our office, our website, and our web content. So we wanted to incorporate those into the pen if we could. What we ended up with was an ombre using 3 different colors. The lacquer work essentially has to be done completely by hand with an artistic eye to get the color transition to look just right. It takes many, many coats of spray lacquer applied across the pen, and if any of those layers don't go on right, the ombre effect doesn't work and they have to basically scrap it and start over. It's really a labor of love, and you can imagine that doing a 3-color ombre is all the more risky and complicated than their typical 2 colors that they've done on other pens. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take specific number requests because the pens aren't numbered on the packaging itself, which makes it really hard for us to check them all. But the pens are numbered in a grouping by nib. So you can at least aim for a certain range of number if that matters to you. Pens 1 through 69 will be extra fines, 70 through 179 are fines, 180 through 234 are mediums, 235 through 248 are broads, and 249 through 275 are stubs. Now granted, you can swap these nib units out with any VP nib unit that you want, so you're not married to a particular size in this pen, but this is how they'll be arriving in the box. Speaking of the box, the packaging isn't anything too wild or out there, though we were able to do a co-branded custom sleeve with a fade from blue to purple, which is me and Rachel's favorite colors, and they're two of our most recognizable brand colors. Now the price on these is a bit of a jump up from normal Vanishing points because of the increased complexity of doing these colors and the very limited nature of these pens. So you'll need to set aside $480 for one of these. I know that's a commitment and it won't be in everyone's budget, but this was a super special thing that we were able to do with Pilot, and we're glad to be able to offer it at all, quite frankly. Even if this isn't up your alley, we still wanted to be able to share our story with you and show you what we were able to do with Pilot. We're so grateful for the decade and a half of support that we've gotten from you all, and we're still honored to be able to serve you in the pen community every single day. You can find these Vanishing points over at gouletpens.com, along with a lot more pens, ink, and paper. Thank you so much for watching, and right on.